Okay, well, welcome. This is Bricklandia. This is going to be the long version, kind of going through our Lego city. It's taking up the bulk of a 2-car garage. I'm going to do a quick little 3 or 4 minute walk around. I tried to do a short video yesterday, and it actually came out to be about 16 minutes long. So I'm just going to go through real quick and walk through this city, and then I'm going to go through the longer history and everything, and it'll probably be a pretty long video, but you can check it after the first few minutes if you just want to see the city. So this started about 3 years ago. It's taking up the bulk of a 2-car garage. Eventually all storage and everything will be under the table, so only walls with sky and whatnot will be showing, including over the garage door. So that'll be creative. So I'm just going to kind of go in and show you. This was all inspired by Jane Bricks a few years ago. My son had a few Lego sets, and we saw some of his videos and started building a little city, and well, this is the result. So this is Happyville. The channel for the ocean comes down here. This is where most people live in Bricklandia. Bricklandia is a mile, 2 miles off the coast of Plymouth in Europe. I thought it was 20 miles, but my son corrected me yesterday that it's 2 miles. So this is Happyville. And here's our port, one of our submarines. This is our jungle with a volcano and a pyramid that will be in a full double pyramid. There's going to be a cool ocean scene under here where the table will drop down, but that's not built yet. I'm trying to go slow and steady because shaky videos make me nauseous. So here's the beginning of our airport. It is a very big airport. It's something, I think I counted 58 base plates. The airport itself is about 15 base plates long. So here's kind of a nice panning shot. That's the second downtown is right here. It's under construction. That's main downtown, the harbor and industrial area. The zoo aquarium, which actually started this whole thing. The amusement park, and here's another shot of Happyville. So we walked around here. This is the back of our volcano. We're just going to come along here. This is going to be a double custom pyramid. I actually have 3 of these sets. One was shipped by accident, and they said they canceled the order or it didn't ship, so I bought another one, and they wanted, I said, well, I'm not paying for the 3rd one, so they just gave it to me. So there's going to be a cool under cave exploration here with a half pyramid built into the wall, and then this will be a double pyramid. So this is the custom jungle we made. So this is again the harbor of Happyville, one of the submarines. There's the big HMS Cyclone. It's a custom submarine I'm almost finished with, so there'll be a video on that. There'll be videos of all the custom stuff you see. So here's the custom cruise ship, the custom cargo freighter that hauls the jungle crew around. We'll pan around here. Here's some barges, and here's kind of a shot of the amusement park and the downtown. And so that's kind of an overall view. So I'll come back down here. This is the main roller coaster. It's an off-brand. I cannot remember the brand off the top of my head. People do not seem to mind this as much as they do Lepin. There is Lepin in here. Most modulars are Lepin. So for Lego purists, although I've noticed most Lego cities have off-brand other stuff, all kinds of off-brand kits and base plates and rows and whatnot. But people seem to not like Lepin mostly because it looks like they rip off designs. So I think they should just, I think it's a PR mistake, and they should just pay the people for the designs, because that's the only real complaint people seem to have about Lepin. But Lego's made plenty of money off me. Obviously the bulk of this is all genuine Lego, and this city wouldn't exist if we couldn't have gotten the Lepin modulars, because we just couldn't have afforded it, so we wouldn't have even done it. So in our case, Lego's made a lot of money off us because of Lepin. And here's our harbor and our custom freighter ships and the dock area and the freight area and our Octan factory. The Octan factory and the hospital and the aquarium are directly inspired from Jane Bricks' builds. Not the skyscraper, that's actually my own I came up with before he started his, and we just wanted one cool, really cool skyscraper. So I'll do a video on that. That breaks down into 3 parts. All those huge panels come off the front, so it has to be playable. Everything has to be playable in my Lego city because I have a 7 and a 9-year-old. So everything has to be playable, accessible, so that does create certain challenges. Also, because we have so much space, we decided we didn't want it too crammed. I know some people really have to cram in stuff. There's our hospital. For their Lego cities, because they don't have room. Because we have the garage we can use, we decided we're not, the downtown area here is as crammed as it's ever going to get. We're going to keep it kind of spread out, not too crammed, take advantage of the space. We have lots of room to expand still. So this is our custom hospital. The train goes through it. There's a whole story there. So that'll be here continuing in the long version. Just kind of nice shot of downtown. Trying to go slow and steady here. The skyscraper turned out great. It's a very simple design. I just wanted it simple with lots of glass. So you can see inside there's really cool floors in there. So there's that really cool hospital. The train going through it is so the zoo train can come and visit the kiddos. So let's take a quick kind of walk down the back of the main downtown row. There's the Octane factory, inspired by James Brix's. My son wanted to make one. He simplified the design after we bought a bunch of pieces to make it a little more fancy. So there's the amazing, absolutely amazing Starbucks from Leppin. I am going to buy the plans from the gentleman who designed that. What Leppin should do is hire the guy. Just an amazing, amazing build. And so coming down here to the new downtown, the hotel was just added today because we just finished it in the last few days. That won't be there. That'll be in Little Europe eventually. There's a McDonald's. It's an off-brand. I can't remember which one. And here's where the Ghostbusters house is going to go. The Ghostbusters have left New York, and they're going to build a new firehouse in Bricklandia. But the local Bricklandian ghosts are fighting them, so because they don't want it built here. So, and here's the back. Here's the crane. And here's the 3-story parking lot. That's an Alex Nunez design. It's brilliant, and I just loved it, so that's how I made ours. And here's our big airport. The international terminal, regular planes, domestic, cargo, custom tower, heli terminal, and the heliport. Okay, so this is just a quick overview. Sorry, my flashlight's sitting there. And then I'm going to continue on here with the long version. All right. Okay. So as mentioned, my son is 9 and my daughter's 7, and my son has been into Legos since he was, old enough to put them together. And I was never into Legos at all. I was a huge Star Wars collector and Indiana Jones. I had a huge prop collection. Any prop friends out there? I was Jameth 1971 on the prop boards, RPF and whatnot. Really stupid screen name, but anyway, that's I had to sell that when times got hard, and it helped us survive some rough times. So I kind of was looking for a new hobby, and we just saw James Brix's video. We'd bring down Ben's Legos off a shelf every few months. It was just that police station right there, and the hospital, and the firehouse, and a few little things, and that was it. And we saw his video and just started tinkering around, set up a little city, and I did a little teeny aquarium. I loved his aquarium, and by God, it just took off from there. So we actually have 3 buildings that are kind of James Brix inspired. We have lots of custom builds, and we have a lot of fun. So this is Happyville. This is where the bulk of everyone lives. This is going to go off to the area where it has the, I'm going to use my flashlight for better lighting here. I think that just made it worse. So I'm going to go back. Okay, so this is where it'll extend off to the farming area. There's the horse ranch. There's a custom eclectic farmhouse back there, and just here's where my custom bat cave is sitting. I've never really been happy with any of the bat caves, so I made my own. So I'm going to do a video on that. We got to find a place for it. So this is where Happyville starts then, and my daughter does a lot of custom stuff out of spare parts and does eclectic. She just mixes and matches and really enjoys it. So we've got the architecture house, I call it, and the Pop Stars house. And you see there the custom Jungle Cruise equipment freighter. And there's the famous pizza delivery van. I did some customization on that to make the whole roof come off. I don't think it did originally, and put the scooter holder on the back. I think we still have stickers we need to put on there. So this is the back of the architecture house. He's got a seaplane with its own custom dock. The Pop Stars yacht with her own custom dock. The ocean was supposed to be a lot bigger, but we went a little boat crazy, so we need to make that bigger. So this is a custom water store, and each window can open up. Skylight can open up to air out, and then for access to play with it, that normally opens up. Those are hinges, but those just came off. So it's a little water store for people to get water when they need it. Again, everything has to be playable because the kids love to play with it. So there's the back of the hair salon, the train station. There's a pirate ship that started out as a little teeny ship about that big and came into this. So this is kind of the playground area. This is actually my kids' original. I built them for their Thomas training. It was about a foot and a half off the ground when they were toddlers, and it's been repurposed 3 times in 3 different sizes to be various things. Eventually, I want every square inch covered, so you won't see any wood, and base plates. Almost everything is. I just have a few areas I need to work on. So, so there's a store with an apartment on top called Things and Things, and Evie got the name of it from Jane Bricks' mall video, which I didn't know until the other day when we rewatched it. There's a little apartment on top, so it's a little messy right now. That is a custom bakery she made. Again, she just started making spare parts. Every time I get some parts together to build something, she steals them and makes something fun. And then there's a school. We'll do a video on this. There's a school under there, and this was one of the first things we built. We were running out of parts, and we had our little city of about 2 feet by 2 feet. And she said, "I want to build a building," and so we made a little school out of all kinds of parts. It's quite fun. So there's a little area to eat there. So there's the hospital. And I thought that was the only hospital we were going to have, but that changed. And the police station. So you see an area here with the police car from the Simpsons, but it's not the Simpsons one, and an octane tanker. Got the back of one of the shops, and they fit in real nice here. The back of Hapu's shop, and we'll talk about Hapu. This is a brand new building. So he's got, we added more stuff to the garden top. There's a little greenhouse. There's a great habitat for his pet rat because he doesn't have rats in his store because it's a very clean, nice store because he's not in Springfield anymore. And we added more stuff to his garden. And Hapu's very happy in Springville. What happened was I despised The Simpsons. They were supposed to be a satire, which I thought was humorous at first, but it somehow has become, coming up on their 30th season, an aspiration for people to live, a way to live. So I just wanted the Quickie Mart. I didn't want anything representing The Simpsons in my Lego City. So I'll give you a look down here. Here's the harbor with one of the smaller sub, and the unloading area that just goes right into Happyville because it's separate from the rest of the Bricklandia. So we've got the cargo unloader for the ships and the trains right there. We're going into our jungle, and this all started because I loved these trucks. I wanted these 2 trucks, and then I ended up getting the whole set because I just loved it. So we created this jungle for it, and this is above the ocean, so there's a waterfall that eventually is going to be lit. I need more rocks, but the train goes through there behind the waterfall and comes out the other side. The trees are all removable. They're on their own bases, so we discovered the kids couldn't play with it because the trees were in the way. And there were supposed to be a lot more trees, but my kids borrowed the trees to put in other places, and Evie wanted General Evie built, copying or inspired by General Sherman, a real tree here in California. It's one of the world's tallest trees. It might be the tallest. And like this one, it just is in this huge forest with this canopy of trees, and then it just sticks out all by itself and goes up. It's, I think, 300 feet high. So as a result of them stealing trees and taking a bunch of tree supplies and turning it into General Evie, which will be added more leaves to, and it'll be much thicker as the future goes. It's growing. There aren't as many trees here, but it's okay because it made it easier to play with. It's kind of hard to play when it's covered with trees. So we made the trees all movable, so the plates are all just sitting there. You can just grab a tree and move it to play. The actual set was garbage. This was okay. This with a little poking out, really, it wasn't very good. So I just took all the pieces and kind of purposed it into a really cool little set. So there's a waterfall here, a 2-stage waterfall I'm still working on. And then there's a pyramid in a jungle, as there are many pyramids and jungles around the world. So our explorers come over here. They're trying to get to the gold they know is underneath. And, sorry, move quick there. That's going to be our volcano. I've got a cool idea for an erupting volcano. There will be an undersea scene. This table is actually, these are just 2 closet doors sitting on a toolbox. I'm going to build, all these tables are custom built. So that's the Dolphin Cove. And there's what's going to be the underwater shipwreck. And it's going to be a neat scene. It's going to be down low, but not all the way on the ground. So there'll be access. It'll tie in with the level of our ocean. So that'll be really cool. But there's nothing there right now. So I'm going to just finish up the Happyville kind of peninsula. So this will be a double pyramid. As I mentioned, they sent me one extra. They sent it, but said it got canceled. So I ordered another one from another vendor. And then they said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. It is coming. I said, well, I'm not paying for it because I didn't need it. And so you can pay to return it. And they said, no, just keep it. So I have 3. So I'm going to make there's going to be a double pyramid here. And then this complete set that'll be customized. And then this complete set, pretty much as it is in the book, will be down here built into a wall. There's a backdrop, a photography backdrop, an Egyptian one. And so this is going to be a hidden Egyptian-themed cave underneath here. And that's where our exploration scientific guys are trying to get to explore, and also because there's gold down there. So eventually there'll be trees, so it looks like the pyramid is kind of grown over. This is one of my own design. Like many of you, I look for ideas online and borrow and steal lots of great ideas, as I think all, Lego City makers like. I steal any of my ideas. Enjoy, please. This I came up with on my own, though. This is a weeping willow. One of our neighbors has one, and it's just an amazing looking tree, so I kind of came up with that. I'm sure someone else has done it, but I'd never seen it. So, and it's just fun. So there's my weeping willow. So it's pulled back here. So the ship over there holds most everything except the big, huge helicopter over there at the heliport. And this boat doesn't fit on the ship. Pretty much everything else fits on the ship, and it looks pretty cool. I did some additions to the plane because the plane didn't have much. And it just didn't really look like a plane, so I added some stuff to make kind of a custom broken up plane a bit. So we're coming back here to our waterfall. All tunnels in Lego City have to clear our elephant because she has her own train, the zoo train. So every tunnel, Ella is the one that's made design, so she gets through them. So here's another shot of the harbor. And it's pretty cool. The harbor turned out kind of by accident and really good. There's a little beachside cafe. And there's the big submarine. Okay, so I always wanted a toy submarine. I've always been fascinated by submarines, but I'm not really into military firepower or anything anymore. So I wanted a sub. My 4 favorite subs are the Seaview, the Sequest, the real Russian Typhoon. The Hunt for Red October model is actually a simplified version, and it's not nearly as cool. And of course the Nautilus. So you can see the real Typhoon class ship inspirations in this, and the Seaview. There's really not much from Sequest and the Nautilus. But anyway, this thing is over, I think it's over 3 feet long. And it started out as one of these. I just went looking for a cool Lego sub and I found this. I highly recommend anyone who wants to buy one of these. It's not expensive. I've gotten 2 of them for $100, sealed, brand new, never opened on eBay. And I was just going to add a few extended sections here and a few Seaview type windows and call it good there. And that is not what happened. I actually modified this a little bit. It has a few things added to it. I got rid of the guns and the spikes and whatnot. And I sealed this up. This had an opening there that was for a little shooting out thing. I don't know why we stick those on all these toys. So I got rid of that and sealed it up. I made a few other adjustments. Otherwise, it's pretty stock, and it's really cool. I highly recommend that. So I'll do a review on that when I do the big sub. Let me move around here. And then here's the big submarine. It's pretty mean looking too, but pretty cool looking. So you can definitely see the Seaview and Typhoon things. So it's got a pretty cool set. The roof comes off. The interior, the whole roof comes off. The walls fold down. It's got a full bridge, a full galley, a full observation front deck, 4 bunks, a bathroom, a shower, and an engine room. It's got a really cool escape pod right there that also works as a secondary lounge and observation area. So it's pretty neat. This little section here is the only thing that's even close to stock from that sub, and there's a lot, I added the fin and whatnot. So a full review is coming. I'm waiting for the last few parts and unfortunately got lost on the way from Europe. These are all not on the other side. So I'm waiting for those to come in. And then I'll finish it up and do a full review on that. It's pretty neat. I got to admit, I'm pretty proud of this. This thing came out pretty awesome. So anyway, all right. So coming back here, this is just a back view of Happyville. This is a custom cruise ship that's really cool. Again, started out as spare parts, leftover parts from the Justice League. There's 2 staterooms, the captain's quarters, full bathtub I think as well, kitchen. So it's a pretty neat little fun ship. So we'll do a full video on that. This is just inspired from the Technic ship. I don't like the Technic line. I don't quite get it. I have one Technic thing and that's all I'm going to have. So I looked at this and said, well, I can build that. I looked at real world ships that I've always noticed have the cool helicopter on front. And then, because it really kind of looked wimpy with just a little helicopter on front and the sub, so then it became, I didn't even have my jungle built and I needed something to do with all these jungle guys, so it became the jungle ship. And it looks really neat when it's all on there. I'm not sure what the 2 little rafts are doing in there. I think Ben was playing. It actually accommodates both the big trucks, that raft right there, and the 2 helicopters and whatnot. So there's full crew quarters, bridge, there's a bathroom in the back. So that's a pretty fun build. So, okay, so I'm going to finish up talking about Happyville and the Quickie Mart. And then I'm going to take a break, and then we'll do the rest. So this is a brand new Quickie Mart. I don't like the Simpsons, as I mentioned. And let me just move some helicopters here. But I love the Quickie Mart. So it was just going to be a normal convenience store, not related to the Simpsons. But I was explaining to my children why I don't like the Simpsons, and Hapu I love, but I don't like the Simpsons. And the cover, if you look at the cover of this thing, it kind of explains it. There's a worthless police chief, there's a punk spray painting his store, a worthless dad. It's just poor guy. So we played around with renaming it, but they really liked Hapu, and I explained that Hapu seemed to be a good guy stuck in this terrible town. And there's lots of stories to Bricklandia. My son's going to do a video on the whole history. The French invaded it, then the Germans during the war, and etc. So the story is that Hapu had it with Springfield. He moved, he and his family, to Bricklandia, built a brand new Quickie Mart, and opened it and is living happily ever after. So you can see it's a lot nicer. It's cleaned up. There's a bench out front instead of just boxes. No graffiti, no ugly posters, no mess inside, no won't take checks from these people sign. No spills. The obnoxious magazines are gone. They're just nice magazines now. So it's a much cleaner, nicer version. I've just got the lighting kit. This is one of 2 buildings that's going to have the wired bricks in. I just got the hinges too. This is a brand new building, so those dilapidated parts will be gone. That'll be all yellow. And when I do the light, I'm going to take it apart to do the lighting kit, and I'll replace those. So it's a brand new, beautiful Quickie Mart. And I'll tell you, if you go to convenience stores in the nicer areas, they're way different than the lousy areas. So it's really just, I did not want a Quickie Mart that was all dirty and had junk all over and spills and stuff. So this is a much more idealized version. Bricklandia is a very idealized place to live. So there'll be a full video with the lighting kit once I get it installed. It also sits up higher. It's up a brick or 2. Because when it opens up in the back, it's, again, I got to have everything full play. That building just comes right out, and we can open up the whole back to play with it. And it opens over the railroad tracks. So we had to do some modifying. So it's got a nice front area for steps, and I'm a special education teacher, so my kids are very aware of the needs for special needs people. So my daughter wanted to make sure it had a wheelchair ramp. So that's a custom wheelchair ramp. So it actually will sit a little higher, so there'll be another step or 2 going up. So that's the Quickie Mart. Hapu is very happy to have his family in beautiful Bricklandia, and is very happy to have left the horrible Springfield behind. The actual Simpsons figures I didn't even want, so my son repurposed them into a nice family. So, anyway, probably some unneeded commentary on the Simpsons, but there you go. Alright, so I'm going to stop there for Happyville, and then we'll do the next section next. Okay, so next is the airport. I wanted a big airport. It was right here, about 8 feet long. And it was open air, which was really nice. And I moved it over here, and it's now 16 feet long. Like I said, I think I counted 58 base plates. But it looked terrible next to the bare wall. I had storage racks up there that I've gotten rid of. And so I put in the sky piece. And I got this idea from Jane Bricks. I was watching his video. It's a great idea. Those are simple vinyl photography backdrops that go up on those big roll-away holders that photographers can pull down for backgrounds. They're $10, $11 each from China. So they're just printed on big computers, but there's a problem. I ordered 5 more from the people I ordered from, and they came out purple and did not at all match this one. So there's some quality issues there. So this whole wall was going to be sky. All the walls are going to be sky. They're mixed and match and cut them up to break up the clouds. So it should look pretty cool. And as you can see, if you just look at that, that changes the whole look. It looks pretty good. That moon lights up. It's an Uncle Milton's moon. My daughter just said, hey, wouldn't it be great to have a moon and a sun? So we've got a moon, but I looked around at all the different options for moons, and this one just works. It looks great. It looks like a moon. It lights up. It can do half moon, full moon, anything in between, eclipse. Has some sound effects if you want, some nighttime chirping. And it just looks great. This is the large one. The smaller one was a little too small, and it just looks great. I'll do a video at night showing it, and it just looks really cool. So, alright, so we're going to go down here. It took me forever to get this airport right. This is the heliport with some cool helicopters. The train comes around here. This will be to where it can be the trains and or the airport shuttle. Right now it's just one continuous track around the city. So we've got our Coast Guard ship, another search and rescue exploration ship. This is my custom ship that was made out of small parts, or helicopter, not ship. And it's a luxury helicopter. Originally it was for the skyscraper, but it didn't really look good up there. It's got a pilot and then 2 comfortable seats with a little dining tray between them, lots of windows. And I wanted to use up extra windows I had when I ordered lots for my aquarium before I discovered Bricklandia. So I'll do a video on that. It's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool custom build. This sucker is awesome. I wasn't going to buy this. I'd gotten the whole jungle set. I was happy. My jungle set is genuine Lego. I know Lepin's come out with it, but I had the genuine Lego one. That sucker is carrying one of the vehicles under there. This thing is huge and fun. The box doesn't make it look that big. I was shocked when I opened it up. I almost didn't get it, and I decided, what the heck? It is just neat. That is just, Lego did a great job with this thing. It is just an awesome, awesome piece. So if you've got the jungle set and you're wondering about this, get it. And no, I don't have anything to do with Lego as far as financial interest. So we added to our passenger train an extra passenger car, and we added the custom dining car first class coach. This was made by a guy in Europe. This is one of the few things in Lego City that we did not build ourselves. It came assembled. And he did not sell it to America, and we have family in Germany and Colombia. So when we were in Germany, I had my brother-in-law order it, and not a few weeks after I got back to America, he finally started selling them to America. So a really neat thing. He did a great job on that. So that's our passenger train, and that's complete, and it's pretty cool. I saw the new passenger train that was just announced, and it's cool, but I like this one. So one of the things I've done is I make very good use of ordering old stuff that's missing a few parts, because you get it real cheap. So this was one of those. I think this is the one that came with one of the towers. So this is our heliport. Eventually it'll be enclosed and customized. But I ordered this, and it was missing a few parts, so I got it cheap, because I have lots of spare parts, as all Lego City builders do. And if I need to, I can order the part. It's a great way to get stuff cheap. So I got a couple towers. My tower is completely enclosed and customized, obviously. I don't really like the half stuff. I try to enclose it as much as possible eventually. I stuck with my last hobby for 39 years. So this is 3 years in, so imagine in 36 more years what this will look like. Everything will probably be enclosed. I don't like the half designs that much. So there's our custom tower. There's our friend's private jet, the cargo carrier, and my son says this is the mayor's jet. Who's ever the mayor of Bricklandia gets the private jet and the limousine. Some workers here. And if you can see, there is logic to it. The helicopters can take off from their pads, but they can also roll out to the runway if they need to. There's access to it. The planes have 2 access points to the taxiway here. And they go here and down to their spot, or down at the other end. It's a little cluttered right now. It's not going to be. The planes will have access down there too. So we've got one of our private jets ready to take off, one of our international larger planes. And again, there was missing parts from this, so I got it cheap. And there's our airport shuttle that is fully motorized, and that was a nightmare. And this isn't quite right here. I'm going to fix all this. These 2 terminals will be combined into one super big international terminal. We've got a Starbucks vending machine there. Got the stickers off eBay. I'm sure some of you have. There's a whole security checkpoint down there you can't really see very well. And this isn't quite all set. And then here's the international terminal, but the jetway does go to the international plane. So I'm giving you an idea. I really wanted a long runway. I don't know if this is going to work, and I might have to edit it out. I learned how to edit videos yesterday using a simple program because I've never done this, so bear with me. So I really like how long a runway it is so you can really take off. And I know most people can't do this because of space. So that's how far we can go on our Lego runway. And you can go for a flight over Lego City. I don't know if this is going to come out at all. So, and then you really have to be careful. It just barely clears helicopters and other planes. But again, when you're coming in, you can have some real fun with it. And it's coming in here. And just boom. Whoo, whoops. So, I have no idea if that came out. And I hit one of my luggage drivers, so he's probably not with us anymore. So anyway, that's the big airport, and that, actually when he's done taxiing, he goes there. So that's how the international section looks. We're pretty much done with planes and helicopters because we're out of room. So we're good. I did not want a parking lot. I didn't care about a parking lot. But we're getting some more vehicles, and again, we don't want it too crowded. So I said, okay, any big airport has to have a parking lot. Well, I looked around and found Alex Nunez's three-story garage, and I really liked it. And then it grew on me, and now I just love my parking lot. That's how, you know, it works. It sucks you in. So I used his design, and it was a great design. So it's still a work in progress, but it's a full three-story one. The catwalk will connect to the terminal, and this will be fixed so it can go under there and actually pick up passengers there. So it's got some work to do. I love that he used the trash cans for support. I was so sick of buying these for the classic steel supports. I love them, but I've bought hundreds of them for the railroad. A lot of it's elevated. I wasn't able to get it to work without gluing them. I do sometimes cheat and use super glue, very rarely, only when I have to, because I don't like using that. I just like Legos because you just put them together. But I did have to do that. I couldn't get them to stay and the whole thing collapsed. But I love his use of garbage cans with lids. And for these as supports. I just love it. So eventually it will be all tiled, but I just recently bought 1,500 tiles and they didn't go very far. I think I need 6,000 to 7,000 to finish this and the whole Lego City sidewalks and stuff. So it's a little ways off. So it's still under construction here. So this is one of the only other things I didn't build. This is another I love this crane truck. It is simply one of the greatest things ever made. And it came fully assembled. The owner packed it well and there were only a few pieces missing. And I added a few little things. I think just some custom barriers and stuff that it carries. I don't think I did much. I think I added those little handrails in the back, but that's about it. I think those little square triangle cheese pieces for the cable to go through, but that's it. It's pretty much stock. It came pretty much fully assembled. I think a few pieces fell off, so it's one of the few things we didn't build, and I just love it. So it's still working here on there's some more supplies for it. So this is under construction. It's just fun. Alex did a great job on this, and I love his videos. His city is just amazing. There's this little, what's called a yard dog. It just picks up trailers. Truckers will know what that is. And just a little custom trailer out of scrap parts we made for the fuel tanker. Okay, so the trains come around here. This is a bridge I made. I try not to ever cheat. And for some reason with the bridges, I don't want to make wood. I don't know why, because this is all built on wood. So there's no wood under here. These bridges are all Lego. I did cheat on the base plates. I don't know if it's showing up. There's a piece of Gorilla Tape across the middle. But the bridges are all Lego. And so I actually had other bridges that I've moved because it was just a pain to get through them, but I don't have to go through here much. And I had a couple of these, and I just started putting them together with stuff, and so that bridge is all just holding itself together. It works great. And that brings us over to kind of the industrial area and then also into the downtown and the Starbucks. And I'm going to call it good for this section, and we'll pick it up here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to pick up here. This is the Leppin bookstore, Starbucks, Barnes & Noble. I cannot believe Lego passed on this. That was just idiotic. The guy's design is brilliant. As mentioned, I'm going to track him down. I understand that he offers the plan, so I'm going to buy it from him just so he gets something. Leppin has a problem is that they're taking other people's designs. Otherwise, people wouldn't have a problem with them. The other off-brands, people don't seem to mind. I know Lego doesn't like them, but people's problem with Leppin is they just are taking these designs, so they should just pay these guys because it's a PR nightmare. And otherwise, Leppin's awesome. It's not quite the quality control of Lego. As far as you're going to have some missing pieces, so if you get Leppin, you're going to need some spare parts. And they're getting better. The bags are now numbered, but these first ones they come out with, they're not. So you just have to organize them all, so you need a lot of space. Quality-wise, if Lego's a 10, it's a 9.9. It's really pretty close. And so I just wish Leppin would pay them for their designs. And Leppin's doing a lot of their own designs now. But anyway, this thing is absolutely awesome. I can't emphasize how amazing this is. It took us forever to find a good spot for it, where it kind of shows off. We're going to try not to cram it and put stuff next to it. And this will be one of two, the Quickie Mart, and this will have the individual lights, the wired lights. But this is it. I've got another idea that you might have seen on the diner. I'm going to do a video of that here in the next few days. A simple light, remote T lights from Amazon that work great. So this will be the only other wired one. So that's just awesome. So we're going to do a video on that once the lights are done. All right. So we've got our city bus there and a taxi cab. And that is another, we're going to do videos of all our custom vehicles. This is a custom delivery vehicle that honestly is really funky looking because it was out of spare parts. We had nothing, and this is really before we built the big city, but it actually came out really neat. And so we'll do a video on that. So this is a custom down, this section of downtown drops down, and this is a custom drawbridge. I did have to break out some tools. I love Lego because there's no tools involved. I use a butter knife for the separator, and I spent years building props, and I'm all done with that. But I did have to break out the files to make this custom bridge so cars can come down this road to the second downtown. This is temporary with a firehouse right here. The firehouse will actually be right back there. In the corner you can see the gray base plate with the numbers. So that's where the firehouse will go. This is where the brick bank is actually going to go later. So the brick bank will be here. So this is temporary. This is the actual Lego crane. Again, I found it used on eBay for about $100. I think it might have been missing one or two parts that I got off Bricklink. So it's complete. I know Lepin has come out with this now, but this is a Lego. So the demolition set. My son loves demolition. Otherwise, he does not like violence at all. He doesn't like watching violent shows or anything. I can't even get him to watch Star Wars. And but he likes demolition. So I'm going to point out he's not going to be happy the hotel's here because he loves the hotel, but he wants it in Little Europe. But Little Europe's not ready yet, and I needed to put this somewhere. So this is temporarily here. We just finished this in the last few days. So this is an off-brand of a two-story McDonald's. I can't remember. It's Sebo or Oxford or something. And the stickers are kind of funny because they couldn't really license. They didn't want to get sued, so they made kind of different stickers. I've got actual McDonald's stickers from somebody, I think the guy in Australia, on the way. So, and so it's just a neat. You got to have one big fast food, even though it's unhealthy. So I specifically ordered the green base plate, road plates with the green on them. They're a little more expensive, but as you've already seen, we have a lot of road base plates, and I was tired of using the same colors. You know, we use the gray for the airport, the dark gray for the town. So these will have pathways, but they won't be covered up. I don't want these covered up because these are little, so there'll be like garden flowers and stuff with pathways all along here. There's going to be, there was going to be a university here, maybe Lepin's Apple University. I really like that one, but I guess it's not going to be there. This is, I'm leaving this to Ben. This is kind of his area. So this is a park he designed. You can see some construction equipment. So he's got a really nice park here he's working on. That's where some of our jungle trees went. And this is a custom convenience store with an apartment on top that is really neat. It's got a full bathroom down below, which most, you know, we are short on bathrooms in Lego World. And he built this out of a lot of spare parts, and it's just neat. I ordered the stickers. I tried printing them off and it didn't really work, so I just ordered the stickers. And it's just a neat thing. He hasn't changed it. He built it out of spare parts, and you'll see on the other side of the wall, you can see where it's a spare parts build. But it's just great, and we've left it the way it was, and it's just really cool. This was one of the first builds, and we just had like nothing left. So, and then it took me forever to figure out where I was going to put the Ghostbusters house. I love the Ghostbusters house. So it's going to go here. So it's going to be at the end of this little peninsula. It'll have room to open up. So right now, the Technic monster is working on it. And the Ghostbusters are here. Like Hapu, they've had enough of New York, and they are moving to Bricklandia. And they're building an all-new, brand-new Ghostbusters firehouse. It's also been accurized to represent the film more. It's almost done. But right now, they're having to fight the Bricklandian ghosts because, of course, the Bricklandian ghosts don't want them here. So there's a whole story behind everything. The Ghostbusters now have 4 daughters, and they're going to be taking over the business because my daughter's really into girl power. But the female Ghostbusters wasn't very good. I lasted about 20 minutes and gave up. So this isn't them. This is the original boys' daughters, and they're going to be taking over. So we're having to customize the house. She was very upset that Winston didn't have a locker, so now Winston has a locker in the Ghostbusters house, and the ladies have lockers. And we're going to do custom bunk beds to make sure everybody has room. So right now, the Technic monster is shut down while they're fighting the ghosts. This is an original Lego. Lepin does offer this, but considering the precision and whatnot, I felt I'd go ahead and spend the extra money on the Lego. This was a nightmare build. I did not really enjoy it. It's the only Technic thing I'm going to have, and it doesn't really work very well. It jams up a lot. I've customized it a bit to try to make it work better, and it's helped, but it doesn't. Like a lot of people who got this, we thought it could do more than it really can. It really can only take these little pieces it came with, and they get jammed up too. So you can't, you know, I want to put a huge pile in front of it, and it just constantly jams up. So it's fun to sit there and turn on and make it go, but it doesn't, it's mostly just a really cool display piece. So the Ghostbusters house is actually here and almost done. So when we do the next video, you'll see it here, and it's just a perfect place for it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So we're pretty excited about, this is the second downtown area. So if I understand it correctly, the one thing I insist is that Ghostbusters go here at the end. And then it's up to Ben what he wants to do. And I think the convenience store stays there, and the park stays here. He's decided he liked the McDonald's. He didn't at first having it here. But the Sunshine Hotel, which I think is a Leppen one, not a Lego copy, is going to go right here. The garage, that two-story cool garage thing that's coming, is going to go here, and the brick bank there. So it was going to be called University Row. I'm not sure what happened with that. So anyway, that's downtown part 2 that is under construction right now. And so we will go from there. Okay, so that's it for downtown part 2. Kind of see where that fits into Lego City. There we go. All right, and we'll start with the next section. Okay, so this is the money shot for downtown. You can see the skyscraper. The skyscraper, I would like, this is all Jane Bricks' fault, so, you know, it's his fault I don't have any money. But the skyscraper I want to do from the start, I actually started on this before he built his. It's not one of our Jane Bricks inspired buildings. It's pretty cool though. I wanted it very simple. Lots of glass. It breaks down into 3 parts. All those front things come off so they can play with it. So it's pretty cool. So we'll do a video on that. And then you can see our elevated train station. The train actually originally went right through the middle over there too, but it just made it very hard to play with. So we've changed that. So here's our hospital, which is one of our Jane Bricks inspired builds. I like to give credit where if I use somebody's ideas or designs, I try to always mention that. So I'm going to go just kind of start over here where we left off at the end of the second downtown. This is the older Octane gas station, which I just love. I just like it much more than the new one. So again, I found it online, found it missing some parts, and got those in Bricklinks and got it cheap. And that is the Bricklandia Vault. It's Ben's thing. You can see our double track. Our track just is one track that goes around, so we have to monitor if trains are running multiple trains. So, but then there's 2 little areas in the cargo unloading where they can go off and basically park on the side, get unloaded. So this is kind of our industrial area at the back of downtown. This is one of the Jane Bricks inspired buildings. Ben saw this on Jane Bricks and said, I want that. I want to build one of those. So we ordered a bunch of parts for him, and then he didn't do much with it. He just made it real simple. And I tried like heck to come up with a slightly different design for the smokestack, but Jane Bricks just nailed it. It just looks so great. So that's a total copy of his, just slightly different ladder, I think. One idea I came up with on my own, I didn't borrow, I'm sure someone else has done it, is to kind of stack extra gear and stuff around. So I made little pallets for just spare parts, lots of spare parts. And so, you know, we don't want it dirty and greasy, and like, you know, we don't want it too real, but there's going to be in an industrial area, you're going to have equipment on pallets, just always sitting around, tanks and stuff. And if I need the parts, I just replace it with those spare parts. So there's a lot of detailing in on side, but some of it's not done. And Ben says he's going to add more detail to it later, so we'll see. So there's a custom delivery truck. One day I was out. That's going to be converted to a FedEx truck as soon as it gets here. One day I was out and I saw a white box delivery truck, and I thought, my God, we don't have just a simple box delivery truck in Lego City. So I came home, broke open the parts, and an hour later that was there. So you can see here some telephone poles, and they're going to be connected with wires eventually. Some signals and so forth. So kind of the industrial area back there, loading and unloading. And this is the breakaway bank, so it's the small bank for real quick stuff. And here's another one of, this is an idea I came up with for a cell phone tower. So we'll probably have some high cancer rates in Bricklandia, but hey, what can you do? Gotta have a cell phone tower. So this is kind of the back edge. So this is the hamburger stand and news stand for waiting for the bus. And just swing around here for the back side of it. There's a Hall of Justice, which we'll get to in a second. This is the back of the detective's office. However, we haven't found the rest of the parts. We're missing some parts for the top. And this is just a neat, again, little spare parts build. I was just sitting there one day and had this and said, hey, how about a little greenhouse? So it opens up here, and it's got opening roof panels to do. And the idea is this will be on a roof somewhere in downtown because it's a small greenhouse for somebody who lives in an apartment or something. And so this is just the back of the building. This is our elevated train. Comes around from that drawbridge I showed you a minute ago. Back of the Parisian restaurant. The Parisian restaurant will be in Little Europe along with the Eiffel Tower and some other things. Okay, so I'm going to come back to, this was our first custom build. My daughter is actually into the superheroes. She loves the original Super Friends. I don't let her watch the new stuff. The original classic 70s Super Friends that if you're in your 40s and whatnot, you remember. And this was before I discovered Bricklinks, and she wanted it. He'd gotten something, I don't remember what, and she wanted a Hall of Justice. So I went online and looked at pictures and started ordering lots off eBay. So this was bought off lots from eBay before I discovered Bricklinks. And it came out pretty cool. It was her design and I just helped her with it. And it came out pretty neat. There's a mailbox because she says they need mail, so, you know. And there's Wonder Woman's little invisible jet. I think came with a game. But it came out pretty cool. So pretty proud of that. I think that came out pretty neat. And again, it would have been cheaper. There's a whole history. So if you look here, that archway in front of the skyscraper is a historical monument. There's a whole history to that Ben will share with you. We just got the 2-story arcade. It's another off-brand. I'm not sure. I think Leppin has this, but this is, as I mentioned on another video, another brand, although I think they're all the same. It's really neat. It's just fun. I'm not even into video games, and I like it. But we're going to move it. It's going to go over to the amusement park. One day I come out, and Ben has just put this green tower there. So this is a tower. Okay. And now it's got a history. It was an observation tower before the war or during the war, and it got damaged, and they left it for historical purposes. So then I kind of built the memorial park around it. It needs some more work, but because it was just sitting there out of the blue. And so, like a lot of Lego daddies, I kind of then come in and adjust and make it, you know, look a little more. So this is our hospital. It's really a neat hospital. We'll do a video on it soon, but it's been reconfigured about 4 times as we need to move it. The kids wanted a hospital like Jane Bricks's that also the train drives through. And I tried to talk them out of it. And I couldn't. So the idea is that we have a zoo train that you'll see here. And it comes through and we have, I ordered the baby Lego, so there's a nursery in there. And then the kids in the hospital and the nursery can come, and it's all windows right there. So the zoo train that has aquatic cars and Ella and everyone else comes through and parks here. And they can visit the kiddos. Upstairs are the hospital rooms. There's the 3 hospital rooms with a great view. There's also a surgery room and whatnot, a pharmacy up there, helicopter, etc. Parking lot below. So we'll do a whole video on that. Again, the whole panels come apart. It's modular. It has to come apart to be played with. So we looked and I said, if you're going to do it, let's do it a different, because Jane Bricks's hospital is so amazing. But it's all this white and blue. And I said, let's make it a different color then. I don't want to just use the same colors. But every cool hospital I saw that wasn't like this just looked like a building that said hospital on it. So I said, all right, let's just do this. So, but it's pretty neat. I'm pretty proud of it. It came out pretty neat. So we'll do a whole video on that. So let me come around here. So this is the helicopter. Actually, it's the Bell 222 as a total Airwolf geek. I appreciate that. That actually comes from the little hospital, so it goes back and forth. There is an elevator. It's just not on here right now, because right now the elevator is here, which is now on the street corner. I have to reconfigure that a little bit. So it's a little messed up inside right now. This whole panel here comes off, so you have access to the nursery with all the babies, even though they don't really use nurseries anymore. And here's a better look at the memorial garden. This arcade is really cool because it opens up in half, or the 2 top halves come off modular. So either way, because anyone who's done this knows opening buildings are a pain because of the space required. All right, so here's the rest of our elevated train. Oh, I'm going to mention this fabric at this point. This fabric made a huge difference because there's, needless to say, junk piled under these tables. And I looked at fabric. I waited. I had a coupon for Joann's Fabrics, big fabric chain here in California, wherever else. And the cheapest I could get is $5-6 for a yard, or they would limit it. It was ridiculous because I have this. You can tell there's a lot in here. So I went online. I think it's fabrics.com. But anyway, I looked and I found cheap blue fabric for, I think it was 59 cents a yard, because I needed like over 100 yards. And, you know, I'm not going to spend $500-600 on fabric. So, yeah, this was like 79 or 89 cents a yard. I have lots left. So it kind of, the kids say everything that's not table is ocean, because this is an island. So the fabric just made such a difference. I'm so anxious to get the walls done too. So it made such a difference because it really puts focus on the Lego City. So the fabric was cheap. It's just up with thumbtacks. So if anyone's wondering about the fabric, check online. You'll get a much better deal. So here's some, again, classic Lego cars that I got online on eBay for, you know, missing some parts. So this is the back of the Hall of Justice. So we have a custom computer here that Evie wanted. A bed. She's always concerned about their comfort. So Cyclops is resting, trying to control his eyesight, she said. Spider-Man's working on the computer. Iron Man is back there. They're visiting the DC guys. So Iron Man's back there tinkering with his helmet. The Flash is on our custom treadmill. Thor's working out. Hawkeye's messing around. Batman and Wonder Woman are at the table. Aquaman has access to the ocean here, so he's about to dive in. And And Black Widow's doing, I don't know, something. Deadpool's over here. Deadpool's one of the few crude things I like. I don't like crude humor, but Deadpool, I have to say I do love Deadpool. Although I think it'd be just as good without the crude humor. Anyway, that's the inside. That's all Evie's design. I just kind of helped her with it, but it's her design. So she posed everyone this morning. This is our elevated train station. So it's quite high. You're way up there when you're up on that top one. So that's pretty cool. And then here's again the building. So the skyscraper has a 3-story balcony. It's 16 stories, I believe. Very cool. It's messed up right now from the move, and I still haven't fixed it. So 3-story lobby. I'm sorry, not balcony. I said balcony. Lobby. It's got a grand staircase that goes up. The second floor is an indoor park. Then we have the pool and a hot tub level. Then we have the restaurant, which is a Red Lobster, and there's a lobster tank in there. Then we have a business that has a vault. It's not a bank, but it has a vault, and it has a manager's office. Then, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reaching, but then we have the apartment, and then we have the luxury 3-story penthouse. And then the helicopter and roof access up there. So we'll do a whole video on this. It came out pretty cool. Balconies for the restaurant and the private apartments. And there's access here. The doors open back here for deliveries. Open right into the lobby. So, okay. So we'll just continue on. Here's the harbor area. We have our aquatic train back there. We'll get a better look at that a little later. And the harbor master, but also the tower for the seaplanes. There's the main unloading dock with one of our custom ships on there. We did a custom freighter ship where I like having the bridges extend way over, that kind of classic look. It has engine room, crew quarters. So this has got the one where the command tower is kind of in the middle, a little bit off to the back, but you can store both stuff behind and in front. We made all kinds of custom crates, but they started being more and more open containers because we were running out of bricks. So, custom, cargo. And if you come over here, there's our dock with our seaplanes and our cargo train. Then here's our other custom freighter. This one has a little bit bigger bridge. Full bridge access, again, engine room, crew quarters. So we'll do a custom vehicle on that. This has got the bigger cargo ones. Now this bridge is all the way to the back, so it takes the bigger cargo containers, although they can fit on the other one too. And we did a custom berth. This is actually leftover parts from the Octane factory that Ben just didn't use. I had all this stuff to build this big fancy Octane factory, and he kept it simple. So one day I just said, oh heck, let me do this. So I built the berth. So it's going to be, if not now, it's going to be big enough for our huge barges too. So 2 motorized Octane windmills. They're on a remote rather than trying to gear down. These darn motors are so fast. Everything on mine has remote, so you can just go slower. And they're really neat, so we'll turn those on later. So they're pretty cool. Again, spare part, incomplete builds off eBay, and got them cheap and then just fixed them. So the sensor, I use that bar door specifically so it would pick up the sensor easier for the remote. Because the Lego remotes aren't so great. I love their engine setups. All my trains have dual engines. One day I said I was having so much trouble getting them to go up for the elevation. I said, wow, I wonder if I could custom rig a second motor. And I went on Lego and found they had the actual Lego site is the best price for the Lego electronics, the motors. The motors, the remotes, everything for the motors. The best price, believe it or not, is the actual Lego site. And they had a motor, and then I suddenly realized, oh my God, they've got it all wired up, ready to go. It was the quickest thing ever. So that's why I love Lego. So each train has 2 motors on it, so they boogie no problem. So this is the Coast Guard station that I customized. It's not really that great because there was very little floor to actually walk on, no access. So I've added all kinds of stuff, custom stuff on that. I've enclosed the offices. I've added a second helipad for our Coast Guard helicopter that's, I think, over on the shelf. So I enclosed the office back there. So it's pretty cool. All right. So this wraps around. So this is the ocean. There's no retaining wall yet. Then it drops down here, which my daughter doesn't like, into the amusement park is below the ocean, which is not smart. A la New Orleans. Probably don't build a city next to an ocean below sea level, but we did. I did it so you could see if the ships are lower, actually below the rest, then it's harder to see. But But Evie doesn't like it, so it'll be leveled up maybe when we move to our permanent house. So here's kind of an overview of the ocean and the amusement park. So I'm going to call it good there and take a break, and then I'll come back and do the amusement park. Okay, so here's the last section. This is the amusement park, which I honestly was never even going to do. It started with our aquarium zoo, which was our first inspiration from Jane Bricks. I saw his aquarium and just thought it was so neat, and I did a little 16 by 16 2-window aquarium with a shark and a couple fish and said, oh, that's great, thanks. And then, again, before I discovered Bricklinks, I said, oh, I'll do a whole base plate, and created this thing. And that's why there's all these windows here. I would do it different now. I did the one full base plate, and it's got so this is actually removable. Sorry, let me get this to come off here. This has to be accessible for the kids, so this whole front section comes off. Just set that over here. And you can see the animals. There's a full walking through tube with doors on either side that the minifigs can go through so they can walk in the aquarium. And a direct idea from Jane Bricks, he had the baby orca, that's the Duplo line. And they're normally huge, oversized figures for the littler kids. But both the orca, and I discovered the mama too, are perfect size for Legos. So I got both the mama and the baby, and they're absolutely perfect. And so then this side of the tube goes through to this part in Ella's habitat, so you can come out and visit with Ella and be in her habitat. So the aquarium's pretty cool. This whole roof comes off too. Okay, so you can have access to play. And then this whole section slides out. So this whole section slides forward so you can have access to this back section. That's the back of the aquarium. Touch pool. Normally there's animals in there. By the way, we have, like everyone else, hundreds and hundreds of minifigures. They were in such piles, I just put them aside. I wasn't up for staging minifigures. And here is the polar bear penguin habitat. And it took some doing, but this has a direct pathway with a step into the aquarium below, so they can go in and swim with their buddies. The polar bear is missing. We're not sure what's happened to him. I'm supposed to mention at this point, I should have mentioned earlier, Superman is missing too. So Superman and the polar bear are missing from Lego City. So anyway, you have access walkway. So I got all this done. We had Ella's habitat, and that was it. And I'm all done with the aquarium, and then I decided to make this little tube section. So you can swim through this tube and go across to this section. It's all connected. And I was just dying to build something with those windows, those sticking out windows. So I decided to build Bruce's habitat. Bruce is the big great white. He is very friendly. He is smiling, not growling. And this roof comes off so you can play with Bruce. And he mostly likes to hang out over here by himself, but he can swim in amongst the aquarium and they can all come over here. So this whole roof comes off too, so you can have access to play with Bruce. And Bruce, named after the shark, the filming mechanical shark, was named Bruce for Bruce, so we just named him that. So it's a little messed up right now. I fixed as much as I could, and I'm really crammed in here, so I'm sorry if it's a little shaky. So I'll try to get you a close-up of Bruce. So there's Bruce, and some sharks hanging out with him. So, of course, we extended the zoo as we got new animals. So Ella's got her habitat here. This is Ella the elephant. And there's a bird habitat here. Then we extended it here. This was, I don't even remember whose habitat, but they were all separate. There's the alligator habitat back here. And the ostrich is there and the camel's there. And Evie decided they're all so friendly and love each other that they shouldn't be separated. So they're all combined into one habitat. I need to point out now that although we are fans of aquariums and zoos, because we feel they're important and necessary, people don't care about things they can't experience. Controversy is sometimes justified. SeaWorld's kind of made their own bed by keeping the animals in such small enclosures when they could easily make big, huge ones. So there's good and bad about zoos and aquariums. And the reason I'm saying this is that it's important, Evie wants to point out, because she's always concerned about people and animals, that all the animals here are rescue animals. No one are live captures. They were all rescued and are either recuperating and going to head back out into the wild, or if they cannot recover, they're going to stay here and be taken care of because they can't be returned to the wild. So it's very important. So if you see this bridge here, this was in the middle, but I made it easily lift you could lift it up, but it was just such a pain to do it every time you wanted to walk through. So I moved it to the end. You walk down from downtown, and you walk across this pathway. That'll have railings, because apparently it's by the edge of the ocean. So you can enjoy the animals in the zoos, and then this is the main entrance. And this is where Cinderella's castle is going to be, that big one. And I'm ordering that next. It's going to look so great because it's a perfect entrance. So it'll be in replace of this cave, this Duplo cave. And this will be the entrance, and I've got the water panels all there, the base plates. So it'll be on pathways surrounded by kind of a pond. So that's going to look pretty cool. I'm excited to get that built. So I'll keep going down here. So here's just some birds for our zoo, and this is the last section of our zoo. The cheetah and lion have a habitat here, and so you can come along the pathway here and observe it. They have a house, and they also have a band. The blind bunny rabbit, the cat, Mrs. Ponce apparently, and the squirrel all do practice up here. The cheetah and the lion, the cheetah and the tiger as well. So they're all a group there, and they practice their band. So. This is our performance arena. It's supposed to be dolphin performance, but the dolphins have gone off to Dolphin Cove. So now we have a shark show apparently. So the sharks are showing off here. This is deep enough that you can actually put a shark all the way in it. This goes all the way down here, and just his fin sticking up. So, okay, every mini land needs a minifigure mini land. So we couldn't figure out what to do with these little architecture things. So they are mini land. So within Lego Mini Land, that's a mini land for minifigures. So this is the Friends amusement stuff. There's a custom little swing in there because we didn't get that set. And the roller coaster, and we're building a full crystal cave. She wants like the whole half of it a crystal cave. And of course I realized we needed a roller coaster. And so I bought this one. It's an off-brand, but nobody seems to mind this one as opposed to Lepin. It's a great, simple design, very well designed. It's just your classic Coney Island, Magic Mountain type roller coaster. I'm glad I didn't know about the roller coaster coming up or I wouldn't have bought this, so it worked out great because the new big one that they just came out with, I think I owned this white one like a month or so before that was announced. So I'm glad because I wouldn't have gotten this, so I'm glad I didn't know about it first because I really love it. It's huge and it's awesome. It's simple. I've seen guys buy 5 and 6 of these and combine them, but we're just going to keep it like this. So going around, we've got just a cool space vehicle, the little Beauty and the Beast castle. We're going to get all those for Evie. She loves them all, and there's just be a little princess play area with the smaller castles. The custom museum that suffered an accident. One of the barges crashed and poured all its scrap parts into it, so we got to fix that up. The haunted house, and it does open there. It's built up a little bit, so it opens easily, but the kids want the carousel. We're going to go ahead and, I wasn't going to get the carousel, but they're just dying to have it. This is the one area of our life where I spoil my kids a little bit. So we're going to get the carousel, and apparently the lighting kit for that too, so there'll be 3 that are wired lit. Because it would look really good right there, it makes sense. And then the new roller coaster and the haunted house and the other little princess castles will go over here. We're going to build a little extension with a bridge over to this area where the amusement park will extend. So we've got the Pop Star house, the Pop Star stage. There's normally chairs in front right there. And her dressing room, and of course the big, beautiful, really cool Ferris wheel. I do wish they could make the engines a little quieter. These are very noisy when they're all on, but that is just cool. So, and then you see our Coast Guard ship is working because the barge crashed. These barges are inspired from barges we see in Germany going down the channels. So, and one's just filled because they filled with scrap parts a lot, so one's just filled with scrap Legos. That's the one that had the accident. And then this is the coal barge, slightly smaller than the scrap one. And those are 2,000 of the little round one daughters. So, just while I'm over here, this is the Mission Mobile. It is a ultimate Walking Dead, end of the world, New World Order, SUV, 4x4 RV. It's got a helicopter, it's got a motorcycle, an ATV, a boat. I got insanely carried away with this. It was so much fun. So I'll do a full video on that. That actually goes with the farming house, because they're missionaries. There's no weapons on it. It's a peaceful vehicle, and we discovered that it's great for doing mission work in villages. They help them dig wells. That's what the big drill's for, and help people out. So, and then over here is just the Coast Guard helicopter that goes on the that other platform. Oh, and here's my like 5-story elevator that goes for the hospital that I haven't figured out yet. So, I'll do a full video on that because it's pretty fun. All right, I think I finally covered everything. There was a lot. I know this is going to be a long video when I put them all together. So I hope you enjoyed. If nothing else, I hope you enjoyed the first 5-6 minute part. And if anybody stuck around for the really long explanation, there's a story behind everything, and there's a whole history to Bricklandia that Ben will do on his video. I have warned him that may not be what everybody wants to see, but he wants to do it. So, all right. Thank you. Oh, wait. Look. I just saw the polar bear. Here he is. He's hiding back there. I just asked Evie where he was when she was standing right there in the hole. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Okay, I'm just going to add this in. This thing is awesome. I know it's not supposed to be to minifig scale, and I actually figured it out, and if it was to minifig scale, it would have to be about 20 feet high. But we're going to adapt it a little bit and add, those are the beige base pieces are actually big enough for minifigs to walk in real life, they're buildings. So we're going to build those up a bit. We're going to put a restaurant in that first big section. There's a restaurant observation deck there. And then there's even a restaurant in that second section. And then the after hours and observation deck. So we're going to kind of convert this. Originally it was just going to be for display, a replica they built in Little Europe for Bricklandia. But we're going to convert this over the years and make it a little more minifig accessible. So that should be a lot of fun. But this thing is awesome. If you haven't gotten this thing, go out and buy it, because it is just great. Really tricky to build. I did have to use some super glue, particularly on the first section. But this will be the center of Little Europe, and then we're going to have the Parisian restaurant, the hotel cafe that kind of has a German build to it, the American diner for if you're in Europe and you want some American food, and the dinosaur museum that's actually more of a natural history museum. Those will make up, those will surround this Eiffel Tower, and that will be our Little Europe. That's next, where the last of my old Star Wars props are. We're going to finish selling those off and then put Little Europe in, so that'll be a big update. So wanted to share this one with you, because this thing is just phenomenal. Okay.